Hello, I'm Professor Eleanor Robson. I'm Director of the Nahrein Network at University College London, and I'm delighted to tell you about the Nahrein Network UCL Graduate Studentship Scheme for academic year 2024-25. So what is the Graduate Studentship Scheme? Well, we've been running since 2020-2021, and it's part of our wider programme to fund Iraqi-led research into the sustainable development of history, heritage and the humanities in Iraq, including the Kurdish region of Iraq. So we fund one studentship a year at UCL, and that is for a master's studentship, either a Master of Arts, an MA, or a Master of Sciences, MSc. And if the applicant or the successful awardee succeeds in the MA or MSc and wants to continue for the PhD, then we will provide a further 3 years funding for them to stay at UCL to do that. And we work with 3 departments: the Institute of Archaeology, the Bartlett Institute for Sustainable Heritage, and the History Department. And we'll look at, in more detail at the master's programs on offer in a minute. But let me tell you a bit more first about what's on offer in the studentship. So most importantly, we pay all the students' costs. That is, all of the tuition fees for full-time study for the duration of the MA and then the PhD. We pay an annual maintenance grant, which at the moment is £24,000. That is indexed to the Wellcome Trust's Science Studentship Award, so that goes up every year with inflation and with the each year as the student progresses through their chosen program. We'll also pay reasonable relocation costs for you, and while you are in London, give you access to up to £1,000 a year for research expenses on top of that. And as I said, if the MA goes well and you want to stay at UCL and your chosen supervisor wishes to work with you, then we will support you through the PhD as well. While you're on the PhD, we can also pay reasonable support costs for dependents. However, it is really important to know that the UK government has changed its rules recently, and so now if you are coming to the UK from anywhere in the world to study a master's degree, UK visas do not allow you to travel with family members or other dependents, so we cannot, I'm afraid, support husbands, wives, children for our scholars on the MA programme. However, for PhDs that is different, and we will help you bring your family here. I know it's very frustrating that the UK government doesn't recognise that master students are adults with families, but unfortunately we don't have any control over that. So let me say more about the programmes that are in the scheme. I'll just give you a quick list, but you need to go onto the UCL website graduate prospectus and read in more detail about what's on offer. So the Bartlett Institute for Sustainable Heritage offers 3 pathways through their MSc in Sustainable Heritage with various levels of technical involvement. If you're a historian, you can come to the History Department and study any period of history from antiquity to the modern period, and or you can learn how to think about and use history in a public setting. And then the Institute of Archaeology offers a great range of master's programs, from quite technical ones to area studies specific programs, so do take a look at all of those. So, who is eligible to apply for these very interesting MA and MSc programs? So, you can apply if you are an Iraqi citizen, that is, you have an Iraqi passport, including KRI, and that you are normally resident in Iraq. So this is not for expats, this is for people who live in Iraq and plan to return after their study, and that you haven't lived or studied in the UK before. So if you have an undergraduate degree, for instance, from a British university, then you will not be eligible to apply. And this is for people that really do need this opportunity. And then the university, UCL, imposes some threshold admissions requirements for all graduate study. Bearing in mind that UCL is a world top 10 university, it does have very high academic standards. So as far as UCL is concerned, the admissions criteria for all master's programs from Iraq is that you already need an Iraqi master's with an overall mark of 80% or very good. If you have an undergraduate degree and or a master's degree from another country, although you live in Iraq, do look on the UCL Graduate Prospectus website where they will tell you what the expected minimum standards are. And then of course, because you will be studying English, the university also has requirements on English language competency. And so we are going to ask all applicants this year to demonstrate that proficiency before we interview you. So we're going to give you enough time to take a test if you haven't taken a test recently before the interviews. So they're slightly different depending on which program you apply for. The Bartlett Institute for Sustainable Heritage and the Institute of Archaeology are all looking for what UCL calls Level 2 English Language Competency. There's a whole range of different English language tests that are accepted, but I've given you here I guess the two most popular ones, IELTS and TOEFL. But again, the UCL website gives much more detail about other alternative tests. If we're doing history, which involves a lot more reading and writing than the archaeology and cultural heritage programs, then you will need a higher level of English competency, and what UCL calls level 4. And this is also, we can be confident, or the UCL can be confident, that you will succeed in your program and you won't struggle to understand what you're being taught, and you will be able to read and write and submit your coursework and dissertation and get a good result. So if this all still sounds good to you, let me tell you how to apply. So first of all, as I said, make sure that you've got an up-to-date English language qualification. If you haven't got one already, prepare to take a test soon. And then our deadline for the Nahrein Networks application form, which is a very simple one, is the 15th of January. So you have a lot of time to think about what you want to do. So choose which program you want to apply for. You can only apply for one. And then tell us in the application form, write at least a paragraph about why you want to take that program and how what you've done already with your life, academically or perhaps professionally, will be relevant to that program and why you will succeed. And then if you want to stay for a PhD, or if you think you do tell us some initial ideas about that. If you just want to come and do the Masters, that's good too, just tell us that as well. There will be opportunities to develop your PhD proposal further once you're at UCL if you succeed, so this part is not so important. However, what is important for us is to see that your interests and ambitions aligns with ours. So on our website there is a page that describes our 6 research goals in Iraq, our 6 aims, and how the network overall aims to support the sustainable development of Iraqi culture, society, economy, environment. So do think about that in your answer. That is an important part. So once you've submitted that, what happens next? Well, we will have an initial check to make sure that we have chosen, we select all of the people who are eligible to apply, that is, they meet the criteria I've just described. If you don't meet the criteria and you have applied, I'm afraid that's a waste of time. So if you are eligible, we will send your the applications to the people who run the programs in those departments. Together with us, they will choose the people they want to interview. At the point that we are selecting people to interview, which will be in late January, we will contact people we need to interview, and we will ask all of them to provide English test results. If you don't have your English test results by then, we will not ask and not proceed to interview. The interviews will happen in early February, and we will aim to make a decision by late February, early March at the latest, because the UCL deadline is on the 5th of April. So all of this so far is an internal process within the network. We will then take the chosen applicant, and if they accept our offer, we will support the chosen applicant to complete the quite complex online application form for UCL, and at that point you will need your degree certificates, your passport, your English language test, and we will also write letters of support for you for your application. We will help you how to do that, and then that should all work out. That should all be very straightforward, and in due course the successful candidate will receive a formal offer of a place at UCL to start studying in September 2024. So, finding out more, simply go to our website, UCL@UK/Nahrein. Follow the links to the graduate studentship page. You will find all of the information there, links to the graduate prospectus for each of the programs, links to more details to the English language requirements, visa compliance, etc. If you have any problems, please do get in touch with us. Do follow our social media. Do subscribe to our email letter. Links to all of those are on our website. So thank you very much. I'm looking forward very much to reading lots of interesting and ambitious applications over the next few months.